Hello everybody, this is Philip Martin. This is OnFilm on video for October 21st, 2022. Okay, did you feel that little rock? Well, there's construction going on next door, and it's going to be going on for a couple of years. I don't mind it. I mean, it's part of, we moved to this area, and we kind of knew it was coming, and we were kind of looking forward to it coming, but you know, it's sort of like now I've got 2 years, they're going to be building this apartment complex next to me. And it's going to be interesting because we're going to get shaky video and stuff like that. So we're probably going to move this. I hope we're going to move this production of this video downtown to our Arkansas Democrat Gazette studios, which I haven't even looked at yet, after the election. And we'll pick it up from there, and I'll get more help. I've got help now, thank you, Nick. But I'll get more help, and we'll produce this thing a little more, and it will be more of a polished production, I suppose. Not that I'm really looking to do a polished production. I'm really just looking to have another way to talk to you guys about movies. And one of the ways that we can talk about movies without using any newsprint or any space in the paper is to do it as a video. See, did you catch that glitch there? That glitch is because even though I have a pretty nice rig here, I don't have all the computing power I need to keep this thing running smoothly and stuff. Anyway, enough about the housekeeping stuff. This is a pretty good week. This is sort of the week where prestige movie season starts. Now, you can think of that in a couple ways. Prestige movies, the ones that are award-seeking, kind of movies. I mean, some people, and I can perfectly understand this, would rather watch Top Gun Maverick, and I understand that. It depends on what you go to the movies for. It depends on how you use the movies and how you relate to them. It doesn't have anything to do with whether you're smart or whether you're dumb or whether you've got good taste or bad taste. That's just all kind of beside the point. The point is you like what you like, and you have your reasons for liking it. I would caution you that a diet of hot fudge sundaes is not particularly healthy, but you're big people. You can do what you want to do. Usually by this time of year, around this time of year, I see the best movie I'm going to see all year. That's not forever, because sometimes, it would happen after Christmas. I would see my favorite movie of the year. But in recent years, around October, the end of October, I've pretty much seen the best thing I'm going to see this year. Last year, I had seen, what was it? Yeah, Power of the Dog. Power of the Dog was a movie I'd seen by this time last year that really kind of gripped me and held on to me the whole time. And I think it was on the top of my top 10 list. I mean, I could have made, day to day that stuff changes, but I think it was on top of my top 10 list. I think it was the number one movie. Like that means anything. Number one, The year before it was Nomadland, and I'd seen it by this time. And I think I'd seen Parasite by this time. So go back a ways, and usually by the end of October, I've seen the best movie of the year, for me. And I'd be surprised if I haven't seen the best movie of the year for me already, because I think it's this one.
Callum, Sonny, Larry. Didn't you and he used to be the best of friends?
We're still the best of friends.
No, you're not.
Who says we're not?
Sit somewhere else.
The Banshees of Inisherin is about two friends, lifelong friends, and one of them just simply doesn't want to be friends with the other one anymore.
I just don't like you no more.
It begins with the shutting of a door for no apparent reason, and the breaking up of that relationship has huge consequences.
Well, I never heard the like.
I never heard the like.
My character, Porrick, he's a happy lad. As long as Colin is there to join him for a few pints and a bit of a chat every day at 2 o'clock. Maybe I said something when I was drunk and I've forgotten it, but I don't think I said something when I was drunk and I've forgotten it.
He can't understand why this person doesn't want to be friends with him anymore and won't accept it.
You can't just all of a sudden stop being friends with a fella.
Why can't I?
Why can't you? Because it isn't nice.
Do you want a sherry, Siobhan?
No!
Rightio.
The Irish Civil War is raging over on the mainland, so it's a story where a tiny little war is waging between two fellas at the same time as a bigger one is happening over there.
Good luck to you. Whatever it is you're fighting about. There are many, many strands that go through the story. Officer Kearney, we meet slew of characters who have their own worldview. Never says hello. Never feckin' says hello. But also constitute this kind of island sensibility.
Mrs. McCormick never gets a chance to come over for a chat.
She never gets a chance because you avoid her.
I do not avoid
You
her.
hide behind walls if she's coming up the road.
I do not hide behind walls.
Siobhan is the sister to Pádraig.
She, almost more than anyone in the story, wants more. She can see a bigger picture.
Was she never wild?
Wild? Wild how? Angry? Because I'm getting angry now, I can tell you.
Not angry, wild.
You just keep saying wild.
Dominic, played by Barry Keoghan, is probably not the brightest spark on the island, or is he?
Wild again. He's a very, very clever lad and kind of sees different angles to certain situations. You're behaving awful unusual.
The themes that are explored of friendship, of separation and loneliness, of sadness and death and grief and violence, and all these themes are all very human themes that we can all relate to.
It's the ability to be able to mix and match all that stuff. You don't get a hero and a villain. We're all heroes and villains.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
For fuck's sake, like.
Now understand me, I know a lot of you are not going to go see Banshees of Inisherin. I understand that. I mean, it's set on the west, just off the west coast of Ireland in 1923 during the Irish Civil War, and it's got people speaking with heavy accents. And nothing really happens until it starts to happen, which is kind of deep into the movie for these things. We have this idea of a movie, whatever that is. We think of movies as we think of them. We have certain expectations. We don't expect them to conform to reality. We don't expect them to obey the laws of physics or, all logic. It's thrown out in some of these things. I mean, it's sort of like motion. There's a certain motion picture logic. Then we buy into it, and we know that things are going to happen a certain way. That small towns, people, even in big cities are small towns in the movies. People run into each other all the time, and I get it. I mean, sort of, but. Let me just talk about Inisherin just a minute. It's a movie about two guys. It was explained, so I guess I am duplicating Everett here. But it's two guys who just basically, one of them decides he doesn't want to have anything to do with the other one because he is basically a time suck. He is distracting you from doing your best, from being your best self, from doing what you think you were put on the earth to do, from doing your work. Now, if you're a certain kind of artist, you might relate to that because that's the most important thing in your life, is to do what you're supposed to do. And it may have to do with connecting with people. It may not. It may be that you're one of these painters who never shows their work. You might be, a musician, as Brendan Gleeson actually is a very good musician, and he shows off some of that in this. There's a real thing there that, yes, you want to be distracted by your friends who are just goofing around and having a good time, or do you want to go and be serious and do the work But you ask yourself why you're doing the work. Because you're doing the work because you want to connect with people. And here's your chance to connect with people right here at this ground level. But I understand it. I mean, it's sort of like, I think a lot of us would feel lost without having that thing that we do and doing that thing. I mean, I once talked to Richard Ford, the writer, and I asked him, I said, if you weren't successful, if you weren't, good at this, would you keep doing it? It's absolutely not. It would be sort of a rebuke to me that if people didn't respond to the work, then I wouldn't think I was any good. I wouldn't be any good. It wouldn't be worth my while to pursue it. But so long as you maintain a belief that what you're doing is good work, you're going to go on and do it, right? Right? Anyway, and it's also, it's sort of like why people break up. And it's anybody who's broken up, and I'm talking about in a romantic way, you would get this. I mean, I've had breakups with friends of mine. I still don't know why some people, stopped being my friend. Yeah. I really don't know. But it happens. And you can try to, maybe you can mend the fences, maybe you can't. I mean, it's sort of like, but everybody's been ghosted or ghosted somebody at some point, probably by now. Maybe if you're young, man, that hasn't happened. But, it's like, that's what life is. Life is a series of, making connections and then gradually drifting away, and sometimes not. Sometimes the connections hold. But how many people have friends, how many people have a lot of friends that they've known for more than 20 or 30 years? Not too many. I mean, you can keep track of them on Facebook and stuff like this. But in this movie, it's sort of like Colum Doherty, is telling Patrick, you're sort of like Facebook. I don't need you. My life is better without you, because from you, I get the gossip, I get the inane stuff, I get this, kind of dopamine high by hanging out with you. And you talking about nonsense. About your wee donkey scat. I get something out of that. But it is not what I want. Not what I want. What do you want? Well, Patrick, on the other hand, is fine. He's content. He's a happy guy. He's not an artist. He doesn't see himself as an artist. He doesn't really have much interest in that. He doesn't have much interest in what's going on the mainland where they're fighting the war. He just is in the world and of the moment. Where Colum is looking, as ridiculous as it might seem to us, he's looking to put something out there that people will remember 50, 100, 200 years after his death. There's a very funny line in there. I'm not going to blow it, where Carrie Condon, kind of wastes him on his own petard. She takes him down because he's not quite as as learned as he pretends to be. And, these performances, key performances, 4 of them, are all terrific. And there's a couple of others actors I'd never seen before. The guy plays Jono, the bartender's great. The guy who plays the policeman, Kearney, is great. Barry Keogh is great in this as a sort of village idiot who has an uncommon wisdom about him. Farrell, I've never seen Farrell better than this. I've always liked him as an actor. And if you watch him in something like The North Sea, where he seems to be hulking and just malevolent, you would not believe it's the same guy that's playing Padraig in this film. You see, when we freeze up like this, those little tiny freezes, that's because my computer capacity is not so good. So we're fixing that. But anyway, Brendan Gleeson's wonderful too. I mean, I think Colin Farrell's probably got the flashiest part here. He's the one that's probably going to get nominated, and deservedly so. I mean, it's sort of like, I think, there we go, we're freezing up again. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up real quickly because I'm computer problems. Brendan Gleeson's wonderful in this. It's a very subtle performance. It's a very agonizing performance. He's a very unhappy character, an anguished character. And I think by the end of the film, he's actually, even though he's gone through some stuff, and I'm not going to spoil that, though you probably already know, he's actually probably more content than he is at the beginning. Which is another movie. It's another movie about the healing power of human connection. And, you know, I just think this movie is very deep on a lot of levels. And like I said, it's hilarious. It's sort of like, if you're watching, one of my favorite things to watch now is Dairy Girls on Netflix. And it's a really interesting 30-minute, probably 22-minute when you get it on Netflix, sitcom set in Northern Ireland in the 90s during the Troubles. And it follows these Catholic schoolgirls in Belfast. And it's this silly kind of teen comedy, very innocent, silly teen comedy, but it's punctuated by these, you know, offhand moments of dread and horror, because they are living in a war zone. There's some of that feeling to this. And I'm probably not going to be the only one to draw a parallel between Dairy Girls and Banshees of Inisherin. I think I said it right that time. But I really do think there's something related to that. And if you look at it sideways, this is kind of a poem about friendship, and about war, and about breakups, and about the futility of holding grudges, which is something in this house we all ought to work on, because I don't forget anything. I'll forgive you. Yeah, I'll forgive you. I'm not going to forget. But anyway, it's an outstanding film. And I'm recommending it for what that's worth. But most of you will probably rather and be more interested in these.
I told you, stop killing people!
They look alive to me.
Because I saved them.
Well, that's why I waited until you were there. I got the information I needed. No one died. I did it your way.
He does have a point.
I know it got lost in all the confusion, but we still have some issues to settle here. There are only heroes, and there are villains.
You think yourself a hero, but you would let these criminals go free.
Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do.
Yes, it's Black Adam, and he kills people. And he's like an old Egyptian guy who's like Captain Marvel, except before Captain Marvel, because that was a long time ago, and he flew 5,000 years to get back to Earth after he got banished. He has these great powers. He's kind of an anti-hero, and he's trying to redeem himself, even though he was a villain at one point or something. I don't know anything about Black Adam, but it's probably what most of you care about. So here's Black Adam, and it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who's probably not happy that I just threw The Rock in there again. I mean, okay, fine. It's a movie. It's this is what most of you think about. Or not most of you. You're watching this. You're probably, into Besson, and but it's a movie, and this is an American art form. And we do it really well. And Aldous Hodge is a heck of a Hawkman. I can tell just from that clip. And Pierce Brosnan's in it. And gee, guys, popcorn city time. I mean, I don't have any idea whether this is a good movie or not. Piers Marchant, who reviews it for us, thinks it's only an okay movie. And he thinks it's basically okay because Dwayne Johnson is so good at it. But, you know, I will probably see it, and I will probably forget it immediately afterwards, but it's there. And speaking of it being there, I think all you need to know about Tickets to Paradise is what I'm about to show you. It's pretty middle-aged to old people in a romantic comedy, and it's kind of touching, and it's probably very, very poorly written. I don't know. I mean, it's just sort of like romantic comedy is not my favorite, even though when you do one well, it can get you, it can grab you, it can, you know, you can hold on to it. But usually it's about as realistic as the superhero movie that we just saw. But still, a lot of people like them. And I like George Clooney, and I like Julia Roberts. And the one thing about Clooney is he's not a jerk. I mean, you may think all kinds of things about him. You may not like his politics, whatever. I guarantee you he's not a jerk. Julia Roberts, I don't know about. One of my favorite Julia Roberts stories is that we were in, Karen and I, my wife Karen, we're in the Beverly Hills Hotel, the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills, actually, Beverly Hills Four Seasons, not the Beverly Hills Hotel, that was a different story. But we're in the elevator, and we're on the 13th floor or something, we're way up there. Anyway, we stop, like, right after we get on the elevator and going down, and Julia Roberts gets on in full Julia Roberts mode, like I'm going to a premiere mode. I mean, I'm going to walk the red carpet mode. That's how she was looking. I mean, she had the gown and everything. Stood right next to my wife. Didn't say anything. He just rode down like civilized people. Rode down the elevator, got off the elevator, walked outside. She went wherever she went. We walked outside, and I said, oh, God, Roberts. And Karen goes, what? She did not notice Julia Roberts, who was standing next to her in the elevator in full Julia Roberts mode. So anyway, so I'm going to leave you with this, because it makes me smile, even though I probably will not go see the movie. Or we'll see 15 minutes of the movie here and there a long time. All right, bye. So, bye for now, and you just get this in the way out.
Ticket to Paradise is about that George is still in love with me.
You clean up pretty good.
He's never gotten over me.
It's a good thing it's not a competition.
It's a good thing. He never will, and I have a cute French boyfriend. Paul supports everything I do.
That's because everything she does is perfect.
He's exaggerating.
Are you? I'm really not.
I had to work with her quick because she's not young anymore. And I'm aging as we stand here.
Yes.
Here we go. Which one?
There's only one.
I see two. Oh, yeah.